In a world of shadows and whispers, where justice and truth danced a delicate tango, one trial captured the imagination of the world. The O.J. Simpson trial, a saga shrouded in mystery, intrigue, and secrets that would forever change the course of history. It was stated as one of the most notorious criminal trials in American history. Join us as we journey into the heart of darkness, where the lines between guilt and innocence blur, and the truth remains an enigma, waiting to be unraveled. Orenthal James, O.J. Simpson, was an American former football player. He played in the National Football League for 11 seasons and is regarded as one of the greatest running backs of all time. In 1973, he became the first in the NFL to rush for 2,000 or more yards in one season. Simpson left football behind for Hollywood, starring in popular Hertz commercials. Simpson, who had children with ex-wife, married Nicole Brown in 1985 and had 2 children. The marriage lasted 7 years, during which Simpson pleaded no contest to a domestic violence charge after an incident in 1989. Brown filed for divorce in 1992, citing irreconcilable differences. On the night of June 12, 1994, Brown Simpson and her family had dinner at a Los Angeles restaurant. Ron Goldman, a waiter at that restaurant, went to Brown Simpson's home that night to return glasses her mother had left behind. Around midnight, Brown Simpson and Goldman were found stabbed to death at Brown Simpson's home. Simpson was in Los Angeles the evening of June 12, but took a late flight that night to Chicago. When he returned to Los Angeles the next day, he was interviewed by police, but not immediately arrested. On June 17, 1994, prosecutors ordered Simpson to surrender, but instead he fled in a white Ford Bronco with his friend, leading police on a slow-speed chase that brought Southern California freeways to a standstill and drew in a network television audience of 95 million Americans. News helicopters hovered overhead, documenting the chase. It was such a spectacle that NBC made the decision to bump Game 5 of the NBA Finals to a tiny corner of the screen in favor of the chase. Simpson eventually returned to his home and surrendered. We moved on to the trial of the century, and things got weirder. The trial began on January 24, 1995. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office emphasized the domestic violence that had occurred prior to and after the Simpsons' divorce as a motive for the murders. In the other corner, the defense, a dream team of legal minds who came to Simpson's side mainly because he could afford it. The Simpson defense was based largely on the grounds that evidence had been mishandled and that many members of the Los Angeles Police Department were racist. Many cable television networks devoted long stretches of time to speculation about the case and to public opinion of it. Belief in Simpson's innocence or guilt was divided largely along racial lines, with a majority of African Americans in support of Simpson and most white Americans believing in his guilt. Millions watched the television proceedings of the trial throughout the day, and the major figures involved in the case became instant celebrities. There was a bloody glove, bloody socks, blood on the Bronco. Most of it was found by an LAPD detective named Mark Femin. The defense painted him successfully as a racist who may or may not have planted the evidence to convict a famous black athlete and celebrity. And then the finishing move, the defense had Simpson try on the gloves in court. They didn't seem to fit. "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit" became a catchphrase. Finally, on October 3, 1995, the jury had reached its verdict, and America stopped what it was doing and found a television. Simpson was found not guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. After the verdict, polls of public opinion continued to break down along racial lines. whites were largely dismayed by the jury's decision, whereas the majority of African Americans supported it, seeing Simpson's acquittal as a victory in a legal system that systematically discriminated against blacks. The trial may have ended, but the enigma lives on. Few years later, Simpson was arrested after he and several other men entered a Las Vegas hotel room and took memorabilia items. The incident resulted in Simpson being charged with armed robbery and kidnapping. In October 2008, a jury found him guilty and he was sentenced to 9 years. Simpson was granted parole in 2017. Simpson, now 74, lives in Las Vegas. He loves spending time with his family and friends and plays a little golf. Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more deep dives into history's most perplexing mysteries. Until then, keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep unraveling the unknown.